everybody, so new review for you guys today, which I have the upcoming sequel to The Babysitter, Killer Queen. Crazy to think that that first Babysitter film came out back in 2017. It was a really fun, campy horror comedy, and I really liked it actually. I never thought we were going to get a sequel, even if the film kind of did leave off on a sort of cliffhanger that left it open for a sequel. But it's 2020, we got a sequel for it, and also a huge thank you to Netflix for supplying me with a screener so I could talk about it with you guys a little bit early. So The Babysitter, Killer Queen is set 2 years after Cole defeated the satanic cult led by his babysitter B. As he continues to be haunted by the horrific events of that night, everyone thinks he's lost his mind since all of them disappeared. But when he goes to a party at a nearby lake with Melanie, old enemies unexpectedly return once again, so he has to outsmart the forces of evil and survive the night. A lot of what made the first film work is here once again going for that completely over-the-top horror comedy while also injecting a really great soundtrack, which is to be expected with the title Killer Queen, and also Mick G has quite an extensive background in music production and also just directing music videos. Like with a lot of sequels, you do try to up the ante when it comes to a lot of aspects, and I think they do actually up the ante when it comes to all the blood, guts, and gore, because it's really crazy over the top in this one. I mean, it was pretty crazy over the top in the first Babysitter film, but I think they go the extra mile and be extra crazy, even if it is a little bit of CGI gore blood that I'm not like a huge fan of when it comes to when they do that in films. Stuff like that, though, is what to expect if you were a fan of the first Babysitter film, so if you like that stuff, I think it does absolutely deliver on that with the sequel. It has to be said, even though only 2 years have actually passed between the first and second film in the story, both Cole and Melanie look so much older now. Obviously, the film came out in 2017, but it was filmed back in 2015, so in real life, 5 years have passed with these actors, and they definitely look much, much older. Cole's story felt like a natural continuation, having him try and deal with the trauma from the previous film. Both Judah Lewis and Emily Allen Lynn, although they do look quite older, do a really good job with the material, even if it is quite a bit jarring that Melanie now has transformed into looking a whole lot like B from the previous film. We're also introduced to a new character, Phoebe, played by Jenny Ortega. She's really great. She's actually probably my favorite character of the whole bunch, as she's kind of more of a co-lead than a supporting character as the film goes on, as her and Cole kind of team up, and their story actually becomes much more entangled than we initially thought going in, which was quite a surprise to me. There is some twists and turns to this screenplay. Everyone from the cult, Bella Thorne, Robbie Amell, King Batch, Haname Lee, none of them really are as fun as they were in that first film. They really don't get too much screen time as it is, and that's kind of disappointing to me. Each of them get like 1 or 2 moments to shine, but for the most part, when they're on screen, they almost feel like an afterthought, which is unfortunate because they were one of the best aspects, in my opinion, of the first film. Now they're hardly prominent at all. I do think it was also very weird how they actually gave them like little tidbits of flashbacks to flesh out their backstory. It felt really unnecessary, and I never really enjoyed any of the scenes that they did to try and show these characters kind of being led into the satanic cult. It's hard to talk about certain things because they are quite spoilery, so I'm going to do my best to make it as vague as possible, but I'm not really sure what the writers were thinking when it came to changing certain characters, because some things that are changed kind of undoes things that we liked about them in the first film, and I'm really not sure where they were going with this. I mean, it definitely subverted my expectations with some of the twists and turns they took with the story, but I don't know if it was really for the better. I mean, I may have to think about it a little bit more, but right now I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to certain characters changing and their motivations and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I think The Babysitter, Killer Queen is a decent enough companion piece to the first Babysitter film. I don't think it's as good as the first Babysitter film, but like I said, it's a decent companion piece. If you like the first film, I'm sure you're going to like the majority of this film as well. It's still got that same vibe, that same camp, horror, comedy, blood, guts, and gore from the first film. It's more of the same. Also, make sure to stick around because there is a mid-credit scene just like the previous Babysitter film. Not sure if we're going to get a Babysitter 3. I mean, it's kind of a vague mid-credit scene, but you'll have to stick around and find out for yourself. But this has just been my thoughts on The Babysitter, Killer Queen. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. What did you think of the film when you check it out this weekend on Netflix? Were you a fan of it, not a fan of it? Did you like this film more than The Babysitter, or did you like the first Babysitter film more? Either way, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below so we can talk about all things movie and TV on the channel. Thank you as always, check my reviews. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll keep updating my movie reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more. But next time, I'll see you guys later.